Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and in this video I will tell you more about fresh release from Miniart, this StuG 3 Ausf.G. As you can see, today we have a version from May-June 1943, and this is a vehicle in 1/72nd scale, so it should be quite tiny. And in case you are interested in how it will look like in the finished state, I have one build review, so I definitely recommend to check it, because it's quite a neat kit, which is a new tool based on the larger scale from the same brand, so that's why it will be interesting to check what is here. So it's kit number 72107. The box size is typical for this kind of release from Miniart. Here is comparison with my hand. On this side you'll find also some information about the manufacturer and some safety advices, while on the opposite side you can see also 4 marking options for this kit. So we will talk more about them when we will be checking the assembly manual, because they usually publish the marking guide. So it's a top opening box, as you noticed, and we have all parts sealed into one plastic bag, so I'm going to open them right now. Just give me a moment. And in the meantime, I will also remind you that I reviewed all of the previous versions of this vehicle in this scale, and in case you are interested, you can find it on the same YouTube channel which you are watching at the moment. And of course I reviewed the bigger scale variant as well, so maybe you would like to build a combo of the big scale and the small scale, so that might be also an option, and you can check them all again on my channel. So I'm just opening the plastic bag and we will start checking all of this stuff which is included. For example, this envelope with Miniart logo. So here Miniart usually packs the P parts, and this kit is not an exclusion from this rule. What is quite funny is to see these shirts and panels in 1/72nd scale. As you can see, they're very tiny, so all of these P parts are a bit tricky to install, and you can see it in my build review, but here is comparison with my fingertips. So with some sharp tweezers you should be fine, but still it's always cool to have P parts in 1/72nd scale. Next we continue with a clear sprue, which is packed together with the decals into a sealed plastic bag. So I'm opening it right now and we will take a closer look. What is funny is that the backing paper for the decals was placed from the rear side, but here is the clear sprue. As you can see, we have all of the necessary periscopes for this vehicle. They're looking really neat, but there are no masks, no masking templates, so in case you would like to have a nice paint finish, you will have to do it with your own hands and tools. Next we continue with the decals. So these ones are coming from cartograph, and that means that you shouldn't be worried about any quality issues, but as you can see, they're very tiny and you will have to choose which symbols you need, maybe also somehow to carefully cut it, because we don't have the segmentation. So it's a bit, I would say, a task to do, but it's not a complex thing to do. Next we continue with the first gray plastic sprue. So here I think it's worth just staying in the same zoom, maybe just zooming out a bit and checking the section after section, because here we have a lot of small parts. After all, it's a 1/72nd scale, but Miniart decided not to skip on the details, so that's why we get a lot of stuff here. There are also a lot of spare parts, so it's not like we have to use everything, and also some of the elements are given in several versions, of course, so that's why it is important to pay attention to the assembly manual so that you use the right version of the part. Next we have the sprue with the side skirts, and I will just zoom in back so that you can see what we are talking about here. So overall details are quite nice, and we have the features on both sides. So even though this is a small scale model, Miniart decided not to skip over the features, and we have already good attention to the really tiny things, and that's something what some of the 1/35 scale kits can be jealous of. And next we continue with this pair of the sprues. That's exactly what I was talking about. So as you can see here, we have several versions of the engine bay cover, and it will depend which marking you choose so that you install the right part, but both are assembled in a quite smart design. Again, I'm showing it in detail in the build review, so that's why I was recommending to check it. And also all of these panels are obviously closed, because there is no engine in this kit, and that would be strange to expect the engine in 1/72nd scale kit. even though some brands are already including it, but that's not something what I would be demanding, let's say, out of the box. Next, we continue with this sprue. So here we have the panels for the lower hull section, and as you can see, we have suspension arms pre-molded. It means we get the right position out of the box, right alignment as well. So this is really cool thing. And here inside you can see another proof that this is not an interior kit, and Miniart was not even designing it as an interior kit. I think it's a good save of the, let's say, plastic, and also Miniart decided to focus on more of the external features, which we can see in this kit. So next we continue with a pair of the sprues with the track parts, and here we have the plastic tracks, of course, and we have them as the separate lengths, which will have to be combined together. This is also a good design, and during my assembly it was quite easy to combine all of this stuff together, so here I don't have anything to complain about. It might be a bit tedious procedure, yes, but I think the final result in 1/72 scale looks quite impressive. Next we have another pair of the plastic sprue. So here is the, let's zoom out, the sprue with this suspension or drivetrain parts. What is interesting here is the drive sprocket, because we have attachment points in between the teeth, so be careful while separating this stuff. It's easy to cut off the teeth, and don't ask me how I know this, but it's doable, but it takes a bit more time than just placing the attachment points on the teeth. What is impressive for 1/72 scale, and I always let's say quite like it every time I see it, is that we have the features on the tire sections of the road wheels. This is not something what we see today even on 1/35 scale kits still, so that's why it is even more impressive in such tiny vehicle. Next, we continue with the last gray plastic sprue. So as you can guess, here we have the parts for the Superstructure. So let's zoom in and give you a bit more detailed look. So here we also have the parts for the main gun, and also some of the parts for the tracks. As you can see, the hatches are molded separately, but they are not openable, even though with some scratch building you can basically open the one of those and you can place the figurine, for example. And I'm saying it every review, I'm still wondering if Miniart will come up with some 1/72 scale figurines suitable for this model, or maybe for some other future releases as well. So here we continue with the assembly manual. I'm just closing the lenses so that you can see these pages in full color. It's a small brochure with a short list of the features. On the first page you can see first two marking options from France 1943, and here is another one from Ukraine autumn 1943. Both camouflages are quite interesting. This one would be fun to replicate in 1/72 scale, I guess probably with the hand brush, because with the airbrush I think it's almost not worth it. Here we have also upside down advertisement for the kits. I'm just trying to understand how it happened, but well, maybe the pages got switched over. And here you can see the parts map. Assembly process starts with the lower hull section, and then we continue with the parts for the main gun, and then we assemble also the tracks. So for the tracks, as you can see, you use this length in a certain position, so definitely check out how they are combined together. And next we have here the Superstructure assembly. So this one is also quite easy. As you can see, we have assembly of the late or early variant for the engine bay cover. And next here we have various hatches and covers for the engine bay. We can assemble also the machine gun turret. And next is the installation of the external armor. By the way, with the towing cables, you have to assemble the towing cable out of your material, let's say. As you can see, we have the length mentioned here, but the thickness is not mentioned, which is still surprising to me. Next, we continue with the spare tracks, and also I can see that this spare tracks is only for 3rd and 5th marking option. And here we have also some options, assembly options for the 5th marking. Next, we continue with external armor. So again, it's a quite interesting modification for this vehicle. Here we have 2 more ads for other versions which are reviewed as well. Here is another parts map, and we have two more marking options. So this one is from Eastern Front Autumn 1943, another one from Ukraine Spring 1944, and one more here with the full armor. It's Eastern Front 1944. Quite interesting is that the spare road wheels are in the red primer color, so also a good, I would say, attention to the small things in such a tiny vehicle. As for the whole kit, it should be already available, and as I said, it's a really great release in 1/72 scale. So if you're looking for replicating this vehicle in a tiny size, this is definitely a good choice. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion, so write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.